Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to use the PowerShell module RestSetAcls, which provides functions to set access control lists for Azure file shares using the Azure Files REST API. The first thing that we need to do is to go to this link, which I already provided, and then we need to make sure that we are compliant with the prerequisites. In this case, we are going to install PowerShell 7. PowerShell 5.1 also works, but in our example today, we are going to use version 7. We need to use the AZ storage module, which comes with the Azure PowerShell module. And for our case today, we are going to install the whole Azure PowerShell module. And of course, we need a storage account with a file share and the storage account key. So let's start. Let's install PowerShell 7 first. I click there. I will click install PowerShell on Windows. And my method I'm going to choose today is MSI package. I will select the first option because that's the operating system I have. After some seconds, the installation is downloaded. I will click next, next. I will actually accept all the default options. And that's it. I will click finish. And with that, I already installed PowerShell version 7. The next step is to install AC storage, which, as I commented, it comes with the Azure PowerShell module. I'm going to provide these instructions as well. So these are the instructions that we need to run in order to install Azure PowerShell. I'm going to open the PowerShell 7 that we installed, and I'm going to start running the commands. Let me run the second one. And finally, this last one that is going to install all of the modules for Azure PowerShell. PowerShell is going to start installing modules of Azure PowerShell. It is going to take a while. Therefore, I'm going to pause the video until it's finished. And we can see here that the installation is completed. And this is how you install the Azure PowerShell module. The next step is to install the module RestSetAcls. So we are going to take it from here, from the same page where we are taking all of the other instructions. It's very easy. We just copy the command, go again to PowerShell, and execute it from there. It takes a while, and then it's been installed. For the next step, we need to create our Azure storage context. Once again, we go here to the instructions that we have been using. We go here to the step number 3, and we will copy this set of instructions to our notepad in order to add some of the information that we need. Here we are going to use our storage account name and also our storage account key. Let me go and grab it, and I will come back when all this information is ready. So I have provided the name of my storage account and also my key. I will use these 3 instructions in order to provide the context for the rest of my operations. Let me use the first one, then the next one with the key, and finally, let's create the context with the last instruction. And this is how we create our context for the storage account we are going to work with. The next step is to actually configure the permissions that we want for the share. For that, we need to build this value here, the SDDL. This SDDL variable is just text string that contains all of the permissions that we want to apply. So if you have one, you should add it here. But most probably at this point, you don't have one, so we need to get it. And in order to do that, we need to follow these instructions. The first thing that I need to do is to find a file or folder that already has the permissions that I want to replicate to the rest of the share. So at this point, it is convenient for me to map the share, and I will do it using the storage account key. The instruction to map the share is not here, but I already have it here from the Azure documentation. The instructions of how to map the share with the Azure storage key are out of the scope of this video. I'm just going to assume that you know how to do it. But if not, you can check this command. So I'm going to copy the command in order to map the share, and I will paste it here. And I will click enter. And we can see here that drive has been mapped successfully. Now I need to find a folder inside of my share that I will use to get the template of the permissions that I want to apply to the rest of the share. So let me open Windows Explorer. I will go to the share, and in order to demonstrate what is going on here, I will show the properties and the security tab. You can see that the only user that has been added here, apart from the system users, is this one, Sargoza M. But if I go to this folder that I prepare by Anticipate, and I will check the security properties of the folder, I can see that this guy, this user Maldini, has been added to this folder in a specific. Well, this is the set of the permissions that I want to replicate everywhere. So what I need to do is to use this folder, which is under the share, and then the Windows folder, and then the add-ins folder. I need to use the permissions in this one as my template in order to replicate it to the rest of the file share. Once again, the way I will do it is by using these two commands here in the documentation. I need to specify the path to the folder, and then finally use this command to get the ACL of that folder that I'm using as reference. I prepared this by Anticipate. Here in my node path, I am using the file path that I will take as a template to the folder that I showed you previously, which is as Windows add-ins. Then I will use the command that is indicated in documentation, and finally I will show the value that I was able to get just to make sure that it was populated properly. So let's give it a try. We'll copy this to my PowerShell command prompt and run it. Now let's do the next instruction, and that should have populated the value. So let me get it for you. And here we can see that the value has been populated properly. It includes all of the permissions from the reference folder from as Windows add-ins, which includes the Maldini account that I want to replicate everywhere in my file share. After that, I just need to continue executing the final steps of this process. The first one is that I need to set up my file share name, which I did here. The name of the share that I have in my storage account is called mouse share. And finally, I need to run this instruction here. So let me do it right away. Once again, I will copy it here to PowerShell. And lastly, I will run this instruction. I'm going to respond A, which stands for yes to all. Hit enter. And then the permissions are going to start getting applied. This is going to take some time, but you need to wait until it finishes. Thank you very much for your attention.